the final install on the front wheel drive GST transmission. I'm not sure if I recorded the disassembly, but we got it disassembled. We just need to install it. We got our new input shaft seal and our two axles. So on the front wheel drive GST F5M33, those transmissions only have 3 seals. They have the input shaft seal, which goes into the input shaft. That's the last thing that it touches. So on the case, those get leaky on over time. You also notice by your bell housing if it's completely oil soaked or dirty, or transmission gear oil everywhere. You want to check out that seal and get it replaced. The only thing sucks is you're gonna have to disassemble the whole transmission. That shaft seal, that make sure you have a good condition one. Also the 2 axle seals that go on the axles, you want to make sure you replace those. You're already breaking down the transmission, so might as well. And also just check the condition of all your gear sets. Show you the output shaft seal, or output shaft. So this is the output shaft for front wheel drive. You can see it has the shaft, this long shaft that connects one gear ratio to the other. So this one makes it front wheel drive, so it just continuously loops. On the all wheel drive, there's another gear set. It kind of looks like a small, like it's literally like probably half of this length, that connects to your all wheel drive system transfer case. So you'll have gears like these. These are helical gears, so you can see the way they're cut. They're a diagonal cut. Also, you have different type of bearings in the transmission, where you have these are called taper bearings. So you can see it's like kind of like at an angle. So on this transmission, there's another piece of it that actually comes out. This part right here, this is where that same taper bearing sits right here. So you want to check with your fingernail if there's anything wrong, like if there's a little lip or anything. You want to make sure you get it all out. Also, you want to clean and lube on reinstallation. But you'll see if there's any like hot spots on the actual race. So that's what we're doing today. I'll show you guys another closer look on the transmission again, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wanted to make this video because there is not a lot of front wheel drive kind of like transmission. This also shares, believe it or not, for the 3000 GT, I believe, and the front wheel drive eclipses from 1990 to 94. So that covers pretty much the whole front wheel drive, situation there. So I just want to show you guys my experience with this one. This is a 98 GST. I'm not sure because there is a VIN number on here because I haven't matched it or anything, but it works on my 98 GST. So I just want to do this now. That way I've done the engine, I got to do the transmission, because there's no other way of fixing something than actually tearing it apart and finding out, doing all the research on it. It's pretty cool. So let me show you guys what we have so far. So yeah, like I said, I'm not sure if I went ahead and showed you guys the disassembly, but here we are right now. We got all the seals here. I'm kind of waiting for, this is the rear main seal. I know I got OEM rear main seal for 50 bucks, but I want to make sure I get OEM shit for this if I can, so I'm not trying to do this over again. So we got the couple things here. We got a new boot. This is the part number for the what is this, the boot, the release boot, clutch fork release boot transmission thing. It didn't have this, so I'm gonna put that one in there. This is all OEM shit, so OEM axle seals. So the front wheel drive on these, the axle seals are the part numbers are exactly the same. On all wheel drives they are different, so you want to make sure you cross reference, do your research. But for the front wheel drive axle seals, they are the same. Got 2 of those, and we got the OEM pivot ball. I've looked in the condition of the fork actually, and actually both of the forks look pretty good. They're not, depending on the age of course, and also look at the condition, it can bend and all that, but
ideally I just want to replace the fork and the ball, but in this case I just went ahead and just replaced the ball. And then the last thing in the puzzle is this input shaft seal, and this is the seal that can cause so much trouble for some people. This is an OEM seal. As you can see, this is where the inner metal retaining part is. This part goes inside the transmission like that. Don't do it like this. It's like this. So we're gonna go ahead and install these parts. And like I said, you want to make sure you check out all these springs, all the clips, make sure they're all good. Any cracks in the transmission, you know, because this is your only chance to kind of look at everything. This is where the input shaft is, that is your intermediate shaft, and that is your output shaft. This is where you want to check right here. Also, those races. Clean up all the surface area from the where it connects and joins together. You want to clean up all this. Want to make sure these bearings spin freely, no restrictions, nothing on the gears, no chipped tooths or anything like that. So you want to check out all of these, so they should spin pretty freely. And again, if you were doing this like for a customer or whatever, or longevity wise, you would have the appropriate shims. In order for you to completely close this transmission, you want to need some new stake nuts. You can get this on STM Tune or Extreme PSI, but you got to get new ones. You can't reuse these. As you can see, you kind of mangled this one. This is for 5th gear and all that, so I'll probably get to that point, and then we're gonna wait until tomorrow until we get the correct, or till we get the other parts. So alright, so this is the bell housing end. If you guys didn't know, this is the last point. This is the last thing to do, the base. You kind of build, when you're doing a transmission, you kind of like build from the bottom up, and then you also disassembly from the top to the bottom. This is our shift rail assembly. You want to make sure all these forks are pointing there. So we got to flip it around. This guy. There. So that's where we're at with it. It should sit pretty flush. Again, see where that metal ring is? It's facing towards the top. So yeah, looks pretty good. So that's the input shaft seal installed. The input and the intermediate shaft needs to come in together, I believe. So let's go ahead and try that. We'll kind of have to finagle the shift rails and the forks all into one while taking off everything. So, but I'm gonna try doing the forks first and then see what happens. Okay. Just trying to finagle the forks in all at the same time. Here we go. Trying to get it away from this gear selector. You want this fork here, and this one pointing that side, and the other one going there. It takes a little bit of jingling in there, but we're gonna go ahead and try to get these gears. Here's your input shaft. All right, this holds third and fourth gear. There's your synchro for it. Check all your markings and all that, of course. I see a small nick in the bearing here, which I did not see before. I don't know if you guys can see it, But right there, you guys can see it. I'm gonna send it, okay? Because that's where the oil seal goes. And I don't see anything. It's not like completely disconnected. So, I don't know. I'm scared. And shemangle it in place. Move it like that. There we go. There we go. Shove this one back in there. Okay. That goes somewhere. Oh, there we go. Snapped in place. Cool. Perfect. It's grabbing the whole gear. Oh, that should work, right? Oh, that's reverse. That's why. Alright. Got a better angle. Sort of better angle. Let's do the roll pins, so that way we can line this guy up. There's one here on one of the forks, so just want to spin a little bit until I can see it. There's one also. You'll make sure you have the slit on the roll pin facing 12 o'clock. And then hammer this sucker in there. Make sure it. Grab a punch tool. So that's our first and second gear set, fork, roll pin. Let's do the third and fourth. A little bit more. Perfect. So we got the first and second gear fork, roll pin installed, right? And you got your third and fourth. So let's do the reverse idler. So this is your reverse gear. As you can see, it's a straight cut. You can hear that when you're reversing, you can hear that whining gear sound, but this lever kind of slot part faces down, and then that goes on top of like that. Here is our there you go, and then it's for them, so screw them down. And I'm just gonna screw two. You can actually see it on the plate right here. This is where when you hear that reverse engaging, you're hitting there. Also right here too on the plate, that little mark right there. It's basically when you slam it in the reverse, you'll hear it, and that's what that is. Trapezoid thing here, right? That's that shoe that rides like right here, that engages the reverse. So just put it on the lever like that, and then install your gear like that. Everything should kind of fall into place. So let me see if everything's good. There
go. There you go. So let's go ahead and tighten these bolts. They're 14 foot-pounds. It's just very not, it's not a tight spec. So let me get, there you go. Very small. I'm talking minimal. There you go.
Bell housing should look almost done. I need to put the center diff, and that should be it. Do not forget, this is your magnet pickup. Do not forget this guy that collects all the shavings. That should be it. I don't see anything else. Here's your, make sure all those are kind of like inside that little cage there. And it's gonna pop up here and there because, you know, we don't have fifth, but there's a taper roll bearing, that's good. That should be it. Torque your bolts here. You just want to do a visual check here too. All your gears line up with little to no distance in between. Make sure all the gears are kind of lined up. Alright. This one's a used transmission, so you're gonna see some wear marks. There's our axle seal down there, and this is our stock differential here. You can see those. That's your planetary gear set. Here's your another taper roll bearing. Also another, that's where you stick your axle in. So there you go. Clean that up. Put oil on her. So this side goes into the transmission like that, and it hooks off into the output shaft. When you reinstall this, you want to make sure you kind of install it straight. But that should be it. That's our output shaft. So you look at the transmission like this, right? There's this clip here that attaches to this right here. And what you're going to do is this closed end faces the outside, and it just clips in like this. You should either click. There's no bolts or anything that holds it on, but right there, it just sits in like that. So that's how you install the oil guide. And that's how it looks like on the inside, like that. There you go. Here it is on the other side. So make sure you install that. You don't want to forget about that, because when fluid kicks around there, it goes at the top of the fifth gear, and that's the only oiling it gets. So yeah. Match with the dowels. Just make sure it's in there. Perfect. Slam it a little bit. That's it. Tap it in. I like to go crisscross pattern usually, so you know, going left, right, up, down, opposite directions. That's the way you know it's kind of getting even.
Alright, so I'm gonna put everything to hand tight, and then we'll torque them down later. So, torque on this guy is 27 foot-pounds on the 3 spring-loaded balls, whatever. So this is 27. Okay, those are torqued. So go through your gears, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and then your reverse synchro. There you go. Okay, so this is your weight spring in here. In the manual, there's gonna say 2 pegs here. There's gonna be 2 tabs. You'll see them. Those tabs are gonna be lined up with that opening of that metal ring here. There's a little opening right here, and you're just gonna put them facing down like that. I'm gonna verify this again, so also let's make sure all those are torqued there, those machine screws. We shouldn't have a problem because this is like the outside of the whole thing. So yeah, there is their end case. You want to silicone these surfaces. We got the ultra gray, still got a bottle of it left. Silicone it right, make sure it's clean surfaces. And like I said, wait an hour and then torque it down, hand tighten and then torque it down. So let's go ahead and get this down. Let's get the stake nuts on, and I'm gonna torque it with the impact gun, although there's another way to do it. You need a tool that holds the clutch, so that way when you're torquing it doesn't move, right? So I'm gonna hammer it with the level 3 on the impact gun, and then we're gonna stake her down. So let's go ahead and get these clean too, just in case you need to do this again. And you know, you got to wring her out just because the bearing's loose. But let's go ahead, get that going. Kind of want to set it in reverse so we can hold this synchro. Yeah, we'll do that. There's gonna be a way to do it in a manner like, hey, set it in the gear, so that way when you're torquing it, you kind of like don't fight it as much. You kind of use the gearing to lock it. You know what I'm saying? So now we're in reverse. Like I said, double check the manual. This is the front wheel drive version, so it doesn't have the viscous coupler right here. So yeah, hand tighten those for now. We're gonna torque them down with the impact wrench, and yeah, stake them down. So there you go. That's the final thing, technically, besides the end case. We're gonna put on the transmission, and yeah, just make sure you hit it with stake these down same way you would do in like an axle nut, basically. Just stake them down, so that way the next time you do this, you don't have to worry about them getting loose or anything like that. So yeah, all right, so go ahead and get these done, put the silicone on there, clean it up, close it off, and yeah. what I like to do too, let's get a little bit more. So I grab just a wrench and just go like really light, like. That's all good. Alrighty. That's it. I think that's it, right? I got a little bit more of the bracketry. Let me show you guys a little bit more. Alright, so we pretty much got everything we needed to do on the transmission. There's another axle seal I need to push in there, but yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna put the new clutch fork there. Kind of skeptical about that. Like I said, that taper bearing with a little nick in there could be our, you know, our answer to why it's leaking. But yeah, there's the end case, transfer case, and all that done. What else we need to do? So there's the drain valve here for the transmission we need to put on. There's also a bolt here that we need to put on here. That's the reverse switch and vehicle speed sensor, but that's about it. We got the brackets we're gonna do. I might paint this. I'm not sure with this situation here. It's kind of hard to paint that area there, but yeah, that's it. Also, the pivot ball, we're gonna do that when we do our clutch. Yeah, we're gonna wait for this to do its job, do the final torque. Thank you guys for watching this video. Again, I wanted to make a video for the front wheel drive turbo guys. Also, just having general future reference for anybody who's looking in this transmission or in this car. They don't have a lot of videos on it, so that's my job. So yeah, see you guys in the next one.